We're just about to go behind the barriers, but Brett Devine, it's exciting, isn't it? Because we're getting people back.
Yeah, Tim, how good was it last week? Members finally back on course. Of course, they had to pre-register and book some dining and hospitality to be a part of the day to follow those New South Wales Government public health orders. But it's a great step. Our members are our lifeblood. Our members have been so understanding and so loyal through these tough times. It was wonderful to welcome them back. They loved Rosehill Gardens, and they should make sure they pre-register and get to Royal Randwick this week. And we're getting closer to whatever the new normal is.
Yeah, in the words of the song, we're heading in the right direction. But today I'm really excited because we're going to speak to Colm from Coolmore, a mighty name in horse racing.
Yeah, absolutely, and great partners, great supporters of the Australian Turf Club. We're so proud to have them on board. They sponsor a couple of big races, and I'm sure he's got some fabulous insights into horse breeding and also the racing industry and even horse welfare.
It is time to go behind the barriers for the Australian Turf Club, and joining us today from Coolmore, Colm Santry. How are you?
Good, thank you. You well?
Yeah, very good. Great to talk to you.
be here.
And it's appropriate we're talking to you. Royal Ascot this week, and there's a real nice Coolmore connection.
Yeah, Circus Maximus last night. Got up to win by a head with Ryan Moore in the saddle. It was a great win. He's a very good horse. That was his third Group 1 win. Very high class. He was a good 2-year-old. In fact, Magna Grecia beat him as a 2-year-old by 3 lengths in the autumn stakes as a 2-year-old at Newmarket. But he's improved, he's gone on, he's won the St James Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot last year and was able to win the Queen Anne last night, which was exceptional.
And you mentioned Magna Grecia, the horse's name, the stallion on your jacket, and one of these real star young stallions that you have there.
Yeah, he's a son of Invincible Spirit, who's a worldwide phenomenal now. He has I'm Invincible here in Australia. He has Kingman, who's a worldwide phenomenon, probably one of the best young sires in the world in England, standing at £150,000. He won 2 Group 1s in his first 4 starts. He had a time form rating of 124. He won the English 2,000 guineas first time out as a 3-year-old easily, and you know, it was just a very, very high class horse. He's probably one of the best looking horses in the world to go to stud this year. He's just a phenomenal looking horse. I've seen him in Ireland, and man, I just loved him. He's an exceptional type.
Yeah, I had a look, absolutely glorious. What about Calix as well?
Calix, yeah, another very good 2-year-old. We're retiring this year. He had exceptional speed, brilliant 2-year-old, broke his maiden at Newmarket by 5 lengths. 10 days later, went to Royal Ascot, ran in the Coventry Stakes, 23 runners, and came out on top again, beating advertised a triple Group 1 winner subsequently after that. You know, a very, very fast horse, as I said, by one of the best young sires in the world in Kingman. He's had only 2 crops to race. He's had 20 stakes winners already and 2 classic winners. So he's just an amazing, amazing young stallion. And we're very, very lucky to have him, and very lucky that he's able to come to Australia.
I'm going to talk about a few of the other stallions because obviously there's the King, Fastnet Rock and others that we'll discuss. But just tell us a bit more about Coolmore, because a lot of people hear the name Coolmore and they don't know as much as those that are engaged all the time in this industry.
Coolmore is owned by the Magner family. It's been in they've been breeding horses and stallions for 3 or 4 generations now. Tom and Sophie Magner are here looking after the Coolmore arm of it here in Australia. It's an amazing property, 10,000 acre farm. We've invested heavily into bloodstock here, especially over the last probably 10 years, but very much so in the last probably 2 years. We've been very, very, I suppose, working very hard at yearling sales, buying a lot of the best yearlings we can buy, and we've bought an awful lot of broodmares as well over the last year, in particular to go to a lot of our young stallions, particularly Justify, who we're supporting very heavily.
Well, we're starting to hear the sounds of the racetrack because we're actually not too far away from a race meeting here at Warwick Farm, one of the great tracks of the Australian Turf Club. But let's talk about a few of these other stallions that are at that beautiful property. Fastnet Rock, a champion sire. You've got other horses like So You Think, amazing stallions. Yeah,
Fastnet Rock has been the flag bearer here for us for probably the last 15 years. He's done an amazing job. He's at the twilight of his career now. You know, amazing Group 1 sire. He's had 7 sons now sire Group 1 winners alone, so he's very well and truly recognised as a sire of sires. Piero's knocking on his door now, is for probably, you know, he could be our next champion sire, I believe. Probably not this year. Numbers, he's only had just over 200 runners, but I'd say in the years to come, he's definitely going to be identified as our next champion sire material at the farm. So you mentioned, you know, an amazing racehorse, won 10 Group 1s. He's done a fantastic job as a stallion. He's fierce popular. He's actually our most popular stallion this season, and Pride of Dubai. So there are 2 young stallions again on the way up. We also have Rubik, who's got the Everest winner, Yes, Yes, Yes.
Yeah.
And of course Rubisaki from his first crop. You know, you could nearly say he's probably got the best, you know, 3-year-old colt in Yes, 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 and the best 3-year-old filly in the country in Rubisaki. So he's a very, very popular horse as well.
And Yes, Yes, Yes.
Yeah, retired, looks amazing. He's at the farm. Brilliant winner of the Everest. Like, I can still remember him coming down the straight with standing next to Tom, and we thought we were home and hose, but the acceleration that he just,
powerful,
against the best field of sprinters probably you could assemble in the world, and he's only a 3-year-old, and to run away from a field of sprinters like that is just phenomenal. He was an amazing racehorse.
I love the synergy as well, because Glenn Boss, he had his 50th birthday last year, and here he had come back and he was on the young Yes, 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 and now this next phase of his career as a stallion. Now, I just want to wrap it up by a storyline that is so important with all of us collectively in this industry, and that's the equine welfare, and it's big with you guys at Coolmore.
Yeah, very big. Like, again, the Magners have been into, they've all ridden horses, the whole family, all the boys and girls at home growing up. They were all very keen riders. Tom and his family out here now, Charlie, his son, and his 3 daughters are all riding. They're all show jumping every weekend. And they have a huge investment even made at a part of the farm at Coolmore into show jumping and ponies and all that going forward. And I know John Magner in Ireland is right behind it. He's very, very clued into what's going on all over the world with his grandchildren riding. You know, we're very lucky at the farm because we have an awful lot of retired geldings that we use to, I suppose, to educate the young weanlings. When we send them out after weaning them from their mums, they go out with a gelding. So we've an awful lot of geldings at the farm that we can use for that. There's also an awful lot of retired mares at the farm that can live their days out at Coolmore, you know, which is very important. I think we all have to play our part, as
Absolutely.
you know. And if we all look, I was fortunate enough to get Juggler when he came off the track, and I was able to event him for 5 years, and I had a fantastic part of my life travelling all over New South Wales and Victoria and Queensland with him, and he was an amazing horse and an amazing racehorse. So if we all play our part, you know, we're all going to get there, and you know, it's just good for the industry, and make sure it all happens. It has to happen.
Oh, absolutely, and it's an authentic and true story. The thoroughbreds are mighty, and they're full of majesty, and their whole lives.
Their whole lives. And listen, a lot of the fillies will go to stud. The fillies will be looked after. It's the geldings, and there's so many outlets for them between polo and eventing and dressage and show jumping. There's huge outlets for them, and they make great horses in all those disciplines, probably better than some of the horses that are even being bred for those disciplines. You know, the thoroughbred is so adaptable, and you can teach him to do many different disciplines after his racing career is over.
And I've never ridden a horse, but we have them where we live, and it's so true, that saying, in wrapping it up. The outside of a horse does amazing things to the inside of a human, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally agree.
Absolutely beautiful. Colm, great to talk to you.
Thank you very much.